Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Just want to run through the exact steps that I took, along with the exact items I used to adhere an Apple AirTag to a Hotshoe mount cover. It might look and seem like it's a very basic thing, but I've actually had to go through super glue, gorilla glue, a soldering iron, UV resin, but after trying all of those methods, what actually ended up working was this. It's a 2-part epoxy resin. And I'll link to everything in the description of this. What's cool about using this little syringe thing is that the 2 parts of epoxy blend instantly together with a really long sort of needle-like tip. All you do is simply squeeze out the epoxy onto the backside of the AirTag and then let it sit for at least 5 minutes, but ideally 20 minutes for it to settle. So I first tried adhering it to a really simple, small Hotshoe cover that I happen to already have, and it actually works pretty well, but it's a little bit of a tight fit. The resin, if it gets in between the grooves here too much, you kind of have to work it in and out. And once it's been used a couple times, it's totally fine. It'll chip away at the resin a little bit and it'll slide in and out just fine. But what I found to work much, much better was the Hotshoe cover that came with the Canon EOS R3. What's really great about this is it has a much larger surface area. It kind of has a Hotshoe cover and then a big rubber cover on top of that. But because it's so rubbery, none of the other methods of adhesion worked at all. The epoxy is the only one that's really held this really solid. And what's nice is I can, when I take this on and off, put it on and off the camera, I can hold more onto the actual Hotshoe itself instead of putting pressure against the AirTag, but this works perfectly. I also played around with gluing a little threaded cylinder onto the bottom of the AirTag so I could screw it into the bottom of the camera. Because the Hotshoe, sometimes I need to use a flash or something like that, I figured that might work better. But the problem is everything about the way the camera is designed allows for a little bit more flexibility with sliding your camera in and out of your bag and things that aren't gonna necessarily push against the top as much. With the bottom, because it's a completely flat surface down here, if you threaded the AirTag into that hole, it sticks out and it is the only thing left to hit. So when you slide it in and out of a bag, it gets caught a lot more easily. I found the Hotshoe location works a lot better and it looks totally fine. I mean, I guess you could paint your AirTag if you didn't like the white, but I think it looks just fine, doesn't get in my way. And to solve the issue of a flash, you can just epoxy a cold shoe, an actual plastic mount for the AirTag to then mount to your flash that is then mounted to your camera. You should easily be able to swap between all these things, and I've got AirTags all over the place, not just for my cameras, my backpacks, my rolling bags, my electric motorcycle. I've got AirTags hidden everywhere, and there's no other place to really put it on a camera other than right about here. Even if you don't use the Canon body and brand, this Hotshoe cover should fit any standard like Hotshoe for sure. So that's it. I just wanted to share this sort of creative use of AirTags in a way that I haven't seen anybody else do yet. It's holding up just fine. And another thing to point out with this modification is eventually when the battery does die in this AirTag, you can still push down and separate the actual white part from the metal part and swap the battery out to use this forever, basically. If anyone else has had like a creative use of their AirTags specifically related to their camera equipment, I would love to know that. These have proven to be really fantastic. I even used one on my dog collar. So that's it, pretty short and sweet. It just took me a little while to find the exact combination of ingredients to make this work really rock solid and reliably. As always, thank you so much for your attention. Let me know if you have any questions at all, and I'll be back soon. Bye everyone.